All right, guys, gather round and welcome to today's explainer. As your seasoned coach and mentor on this journey, I am beyond excited to dive into this material with you. Today, we're focusing on something infinitely more important than just learning a flashy new submission or a complicated guard pass. We're looking at the ultimate, definitive playbook on how to actually survive and thrive on the mats for decades, not just a few passing months. Right out of the gate, we've got to confront a pretty harsh reality. Ask yourself, are you training to evolve, or are you just training until you're forced to quit? See, so many older practitioners and busy professionals absolutely love this sport. They come in with this incredible passion, but then they end up treating their bodies like they're completely disposable. Every single round becomes a war, every nagging pain is ignored, and eventually the body just throws in the towel and says, no more.
So, here is our agenda for today. We'll look at the reality of BJJ injuries, bust 2 major myths about intensity, walk through your weekly longevity checklist, and finish up by discussing the long game.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the reality of BJJ injuries.
We're going to start with a little tough love, 59.2%. That's a massive number. A huge PubMed study looking at over 1,200 adult practitioners revealed that almost 60% suffered at least one injury in just a 6-month window. And the joint taking the absolute heaviest toll? The knee. Honestly, this proves that just relying on pure grit without an actual game plan is a statistical recipe for disaster.
And backing this up, data from Sage Journals, based on over 1,100 athletes, shows another staggering reality. 2 out of 3 practitioners faced injuries that took them completely off the mats for at least 2 solid weeks. And where does the data show the vast majority of these injuries happening? During sparring and fighting out of submissions. It's happening in those live, unscripted roles.
You know, the International Olympic Committee actually agrees that poorly managed load spikes directly increase your injury risk. In BJJ, packing in more training days per week directly correlates with a much higher chance of getting hurt if you aren't recovering properly. Your body simply cannot handle those unmanaged spikes in volume.
Moving right along to Section 2, 2 myths about intensity.
So there are these 2 giant traps we all seem to fall into. First is the tough guy myth. Jiu-Jitsu hurts, man, just accept the pain. Let me tell you, going hyper-aggressive all the time will inevitably break you. But then there's the opposite extreme, always training as light as a feather. That fails you too. Just flow rolling all day won't build the physical resilience and cardiovascular conditioning you actually need to survive awkward scrambles. Basically, both extremes are going to fail you. As your mentor, I need you to really internalize this point. The problem isn't training hard. It's training hard without a system. You can absolutely still roll with high intensity and push yourself, provided you're using intelligence and strategy rather than just blind ego. All right, let's get into the practical stuff. Section 3, the weekly longevity checklist.
Consider this your absolute master playbook. These are the 7 non-negotiable rules you need to follow to ensure you can still grapple effectively when you're 60 years old. Let's break down exactly how you can apply each one of these to a busy life, starting with rule number 1.
Principle 1 is all about load management. Look, if you are super stressed at the office, barely slept a wink, and you're just exhausted, you cannot treat your evening class like it's the finals of the World Championship. You have to consciously dial down your rounds, shift from a grueling 10 out of 10 down to a technical 5 or even a 3 out of 10. You've got to match your mat intensity to your daily life stress.
Principle 2. Honestly, refusing bad rounds is a profound sign of maturity, not weakness. Choose training partners who actually respect the tap and control their force. Avoiding explosive, uncontrolled, or ego-driven partners literally means you are protecting your primary asset, your own body.
Which leads seamlessly right into Principle 3. The tap is the reset button that lets you train tomorrow. Always remember that an early tap, especially to shoulder and knee attacks like kimuras or heel hooks, isn't a defeat. You aren't fighting for your life out there. It's simply gathering information so you can reset and fight another day.
Principle 4 covers what you do off the mats. Both the World Health Organization and the American College of Sports Medicine insist that busy adults just need to find 2 days a week for basic, consistent strength training. Hitting these large muscle groups with squats, hinges, and rows literally armors your joints against all those unpredictable impacts in BJJ.
Next up is Principle 5, mobility. And hey, mobility isn't about becoming a circus contortionist. Let's leave that to the 22-year-olds. It's really about ensuring your hips and your thoracic spine have enough margin of safety to absorb an awkward sweep or heavy pressure without snapping. It gives your body safe movement options before actual structural damage occurs.
Principle 6 is recovery, and man, this equation right here is absolutely undeniable. Poor sleep plus a high training load equals a muscle injury. If family life or a crazy deadline at work is stealing your sleep, the science shows your injury risk spikes dramatically. You absolutely must reduce your mat intensity on those days, no exceptions.
And finally, Principle 7, technique is pure energy conservation. Relying on solid technique totally reduces your need for panicky, dangerous, and explosive movements. Think about it. When you use leverage instead of just muscling through, you are directly protecting your aging body from a ton of unnecessary wear and tear.
And that brings us to our final part. Section 4, the long game. So, what happens when you actually commit to this sustainable system? Well, research proves that when properly structured, this martial art delivers absolutely incredible functional benefits for older masters. Studies show that older guys training just twice a week saw massive improvements in everyday functional tests. We're talking walking, sitting, standing, and flexibility, all noticeably better in just 12 weeks. It legitimately enhances your aerobic capacity and your everyday strength.
You know, a really fascinating study in the Frontiers Journal on Motivation showed that we stay in this sport for competence, fitness, and joy. We aren't here to prove we're the toughest person in the room. So leave your ego at the door, employ strategy over stubbornness, and protect your ability to keep playing the game you love. I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Take a hard look at your weekly routine. The next time you slap hands and bump fists, I want you to ask yourself, is this next roll going to steal tomorrow's training, or is it an investment in my next decade on the mats? Are you building a lifelong legacy, or are you just counting down the days until your body forces you to quit? The choice is entirely yours. Keep it smart, keep it safe, and I'll see you on the mats.